I know, I know. Can you hear me now? What's happening to it? Why is there no sound? Bloody hell. Why is there no sound on it? I've gone on loads of ads, still no sound at all, is there? Yes. I know. Damn. What about now? Any joy now? Right, it's showing me that it's giving me sound. If it doesn't give me sound after this now, I'll just knock it off and go onto Facebook to do it. Is it giving sound now? No. Hello? It's back. Brilliant. Excellent. Right. Done. What about now? Any joy now? Let's see what this is. Can you hear me? I'm gonna log off, guys, and go on to Facebook, I think. Right, last time now, is there anything now? I'm not good at this technology, am I? Yes, are we on? Yeah. Right. Is this the third or fourth time we try it now, guys? This is the last time, right? If it goes silent again, I'll just knock it off and I'll go on to Facebook, right? Teething problems. See, I didn't want to come on my own anyway, but here I am. Right, so I'm going to go back, guys. I'm going to give you an update. As you know, the curriculum bill has been voted in. It hasn't exactly passed. It's still in with the legislators right now, but we haven't got a government because they're all off now doing their campaigning, this, that, and the other. Kirsty Williams now has left. Okay, so she's just left us in this mess. The curriculum bill hasn't had royal assent, and she's gone. You know, she's gone. So she was so committed to this that she has gone. What does that mean for us? It means a number of things for us, guys. There's rumour that this could be null and void because of the consultation and how it took place. Obviously, we want to look at accountability as well and into who's broken the ministerial code. But again, because government is dissolved, that's causing us a few problems. So that's something that we're concerned about as well. We're also looking at legal advice, because if this was myself, if my son was still in school when this all came about, personally, I would have used what was available to me and I would have taken Kirsty Williams to court myself. But I wasn't in a position to do that. So there's the aspect we're looking at it from. We can look at it from additional needs point of view. A human rights point of view is another avenue. The fact that it could be null and void is another avenue. But we're stuck again. We've come stuck in some places. We're legal representative. We need to know which course of action is the best to take. So that's what we're looking into now. We've come across some barristers, but we can't access those barristers without the solicitor referring us. A lot of the solicitors are jam-packed because of what's going on, you know. So there's a lot of human rights solicitors involved with everything that's going on right now anyway, aside from this. So we're a little bit at a crossroads there, guys, and well, we've got to hit them now at the ballot box, you know. We've got to completely unseat them. I do know that Plaid and Labour have been having secret talks, and they are going to jump into bed with each other in May. We can't allow that to happen, okay? We cannot allow that to happen. Hopefully we can get rid of most of them. I don't know what we're going to do with regards to protest a minute. We've penciled a few dates in. We was going to do the 28th of March, and for some strange reason, the Senedd was barricaded up with fences for that date because the police had intelligence that we were going to be there. But as quick as we planned that, we cancelled it because we knew there would be no government there. So there's no point being there if there's no government there. Right, so that's a tricky situation we're in at the moment, but it's going to pass, right? Right, guys, so I want to take you back to North Wales. When we were up North Wales a few weeks ago, we had a conversation with a head teacher on the phone. This conversation was recorded because we were filming a documentary at the time. So I released a part of this recording. Yes, I released a part of this recording on social media, and there was a little bit of uproar. There's obviously far more of that recording, 6.5 hours long. This teacher had admitted that he knew there were elements of these documents that are not good. His words are they're questionable. He was aware of how the data was sourced, right? But he still supported that these global documents, these global entities have produced some excellent documents, right? So, you know, he's turning a blind eye to the bad stuff and he's just supporting the good stuff. he also admitted that he purposely didn't inform parents that there was a consultation process. Okay, now that in itself, a solicitor seems to think that that makes it null and void. But we've taken that a step further now. From that teacher came the local authorities. So it's this Bridgend County Borough Council. They've released an email and saying that, well, it's from the Welsh Government, saying this education empowers this, that and the other. No evidence at all. I have written to them myself, given them 15 questions to answer. They've replied to me with another statement from the Welsh Government, again, with no evidence at all. I have written back to them and I have asked them to now reply with the answers to my 15 questions, evidence-based questions. Or can I assume they simply haven't got a clue and they are happy to place the safeguarding of our children blindly into the hands of stakeholders? Okay, so that's pretty much where we're at now. So essentially what we're going to end up with, a policy implemented by the government, upheld by local authority, and a government that's not going to get involved in local authority decisions, even though local authority aren't aware of what's coming. But if you want to believe the local authorities or your teachers that this is not happening, that's fine, right? But we only work on evidence. If you want to ignore the evidence, that's entirely up to you, okay? So I've also been emailing places like the NSPCC and Barnardo's because I want statements. I want scientific statements on age appropriate. I also want one on developmental appropriate. And I also want an assessment tool that teachers will be using to determine this, because the government are telling me that the teachers are going to be determining this, even though they don't know what's happening. So Barnardo's has written back and they can't answer none of my questions. NSPCC is avoiding me anyway. Barnardo's has written back with a nice little statement saying how they support RSE, again, with no evidence to back a single word they are saying. So I've written back again and I have thanked them for their response, and I have asked them to answer my questions. I don't know if they're going to answer them, guys, but even the stakeholders can't answer these questions. The stakeholders cannot stand by their convictions of this global sex education. My dog, sorry. So that's where we're at with that. Going further with the correspondence, I've also written to the Welsh Government. I've sent a Freedom of Information request asking, sorry, let me turn my dogs off a minute. Yeah, so I've sent off a Freedom of Information request. I wanted to know, because as you know, guys, Kirsty Williams has made a speech saying that she informed everyone of this consultation. She's informed everyone of this global sex education, and she's informed us all that we've got no parental opt-out. So I wanted to know exactly who she informed, you know, how many schools, when she informed them, and which schools were they, right? Guys, we've had that back, and all it says is, just gives me the date Kirsty Williams made an announcement. So nothing was passed on to any particular school. That's why our governors don't know. That's why our teachers don't know. That's why nobody knows. So again, guys, I'm sorry. I'm looking at the comments and it's taking me off a bit. I'll scroll back through the comments in a bit, okay? So yeah, so basically our education minister made an announcement. I don't know who to. It wasn't to me. Did she come and knock on your door? Because she did not come knocking on my door. And she did not go telling the 6 governors I've spoken to this past fortnight. And she clearly did not tell a lot of head teachers. Some of the head teachers are aware of it. They seem to support it, even though they're not happy with some things. Right, so more correspondence from the government. Again, I've asked them the same questions I've asked the stakeholders. I want a scientific statement for age appropriate. I want a scientific statement for developmental appropriate. And I also want an assessment tool teachers will be using to determine this in neurotypical and additional needs children. The short answer to that, guys, is doesn't exist. It simply does not exist. The Welsh Government's words, something along the lines of, they will leave that down to the teachers. Well, the teachers that don't know this is happening, the teachers that can't even scrutinise these documents, they just leave it down to the teachers. Are the teachers prepared for it? You know, because teachers need to determine additional needs as well, guys. We're asking teachers to do jobs they are not qualified to do. You know, so again, guys, this does not exist. So here we are, months down the line, we still got no evidence at all to back any of their statements. The only evidence we have is their references to the global rollout and what we have obtained from that global rollout, what we have produced to you. That's the only evidence that's out there. Everything else is empty words. All empty words, guys. So, moving on. Right, so guys, a lot of people as well, we've got leaflets out there. We're starting a poster campaign. So these leaflets are being ripped down. People are ripping them down, they're putting them in the bin, right? But we need these leaflets all across Wales and we need them in your windows. We need them in your windows and your car windows, right? So you can download those either from our website, www.publicchildprotectionwales.org. On the resource page, you can scroll down to the bottom. It's there in PDF and in Word format, okay? Or we can get some sent to you, or we can try and deliver some to you. Now, people that's in the South Wales West region, so that region of the political arena in Wales, right? So that covers Ogmore down to Gower. There are 258,000 addresses in that area. And Caroline Jones, this independent Minister of the Senate or Assembly member, whatever you want to call her, she's been our support since day one, okay? She's helped me, she's helped calm me down, she's helped calm my emotion, she's got us ready for interviews and things like that. She's really supported us. She's the only one that's spoken out against this and been attacked for it in the Senate. Caroline has fantastically endorsed us on her campaign leaflet. So I've been down to Caroline's, we've discussed this in great detail. I've made a few statements on the RSE. So that leaflet, guys, will be going to 258,000 addresses over the next few days, over the next 2 weeks. So that is a reach we couldn't have possibly managed financially or, you know, on the ground. That is an incredible reach. So guys, when that leaflet comes through your door, do not put it in the bin, okay? Hold on to it. Talk to people about it. Say to your neighbour, did you get this through your door? That's a great way to get the conversation going. So people, you know, just raise, even if people don't believe it, it doesn't matter. Just have that discussion, right? Because it'll get people going. And once the conversation is going, guys, right, they only have to hear it so many times and then suddenly something will click, right? So what this means for us now is, because we've got those 258,000 addresses covered, yes, we would still like you to have a poster in your window if you would do that, okay? And we can post them out to you, we can bring them to you or anything, right? If you want a poster for display, then fantastic, by all means, you're welcome to them. But we're not gonna rush now to get ourselves in these areas, because we're essentially covered there, guys. And that frees us up then to concentrate on the rest of Wales. We've been to a few places in North Wales, and we've been down to West Wales once as well. We need to get to Mid Wales. We need to try and get around. I know people are determined to get this out there. I wouldn't advise you download and print off a load of posters off our website, because it's going to cost you about 50 quid for 30 posters. So if you want a nice bulk of posters, we can even give you our contact and the design and everything, the person that we're using through eBay. If you want banners, you don't have to have ours, you know, feel free to get out there and do this yourself. Or if you would like some input from us, or if you're from Mid Wales and you say, right, I want to do this area, you know, if you want to contribute towards the cost, that's fine. You don't have to. We can raise the money through our website anyway. We can get them delivered to you, okay? We can get 10,000 delivered to your address, and then you can distribute them then in the thousands out to people, you know, to get them spread about. It's important now, guys, that you lot take the lead like this, because we have to work in the background. There's a lot of work going on in the background. And well, that brings me on to that, lovely now. So we're doing a lot of research, guys. We're taking out data from the Education Council Wales. We've got some freedom of information requests as well. We've had back from the police. We've done a few surveys. We'll be writing this research up. Some research we can write up in a week or two. Some is going to take months, and some needs to be submitted on and stuff like that, right? Oh, I've lost myself now. Yeah, so that's where our research is taking us. Also, guys, we are a long-term goal of ours is a lot of people are wondering why people can't see this, they can't see what's going on. And the short answer to that is because they're not educated, all right? The level of training in this country is inadequate. It is. It needs total reform. We are going for reform, complete reform of RSE. It's not RSE as they've painted in your head, guys. That is not it. There is massive chunks missing from this, and it leaves our kids open to danger. So we are reforming that. And how are we reforming it? We are writing a level 4 training syllabus, right? And this level 4 training syllabus is going to be compulsory for everyone working in the professional field around children. Now, a lot of these professional people would have finished a degree, which means they're level 6. So a level 4 independent research in a 10-unit syllabus, okay, that is not rocket science. That is acceptable and that is adequate, because when you do independent research for independent assessment, you learn a lot more. We've also got, and this is fantastic as well, guys. So we're making so many incredible connections around the UK, around the world. We are going to be working with a pediatric and adolescent psychiatrist, global, world-class psychiatrist is going to be sat with us writing this stuff. Okay, now this is not costing us a single penny, right? We've got $1 million project on the go here, guys, which is going to save our government millions. And the people that's coming around this table are so highly skilled and trained, and they're doing it for nothing. They're doing it because they care. And I cannot wait to get the full team together to show you exactly who the minds are behind this training package, okay? Because this is what's going to change things for us. We're having exhausting debates with people all the time, and we really need to, we need to come away from that now, and we need to get down to the nitty-gritty. And the way we get over this is by educating people, and that's what it's about moving forward, guys. We've also got as well 2 more webinars coming from Miriam Grossman, from the doctor that brought you the last webinar. She's from Washington. She's going to be bringing you 2 more webinars at the end of the month. I think that's going to be on April the 25th and the 26th at 9 o'clock on here, okay? So you don't want to miss those, guys. She's also offered to come to our country, right? So this doctor now was also offered to come to our country to do a presentation for you guys. You know, it's not just for you guys, it's for the children, isn't it? And we need to, you know, we need to appreciate these things now. We've got people coming from, they want to come from America to help us, and our own government can't even get off their backside and read documents. Right, I'm going to go through some comments now then, guys, is there? Right, let's have a look. Neil McAvoy, okay, let's talk about Neil McAvoy. I'm going to be doing a video on Propel. They haven't been as forthcoming as you would like to think. Neil McAvoy had this information well back last year. In actual fact, now he's using this now to gain votes. The chair of Propel is trying to use it to sell the party. Neil was actually part of the petitions committee. It was his job to investigate the 17 pieces of evidence we submitted to them. When it came to the debate of the petitions committee, all he had to say was, well, I wonder what's misinformation. He had it. He had it. All he had to do was his job, click on it, and he would have seen. going back, right back last year, there was a man from North Wales, Kerry Roberts, who wrote to him as well, and I can show you that email because he sent it to me, begging him to get involved. We also sent him as well, but what he's saying now is because I've caught them out for selling the party through RSC after mocking it, what he is now saying is I refuse to work with him. But I can counteract that claim with 14 emails off one account and 17 emails off another account. Neil McAvoy's evidence that he had throughout this, he had gold dust. There was only 4 ministers I sent certain pieces of evidence to, and it was a test. It was from last July. I've been testing all the ministers on who's involved in what and who's actually doing their job. And I'm sad to say that he actually failed in that. He didn't want to know until it was worth a few votes. He actually phoned me the morning of the vote to ask me what my amendments were. And I can show you an email as well where I begged him. I begged him for a team from Cardiff. And I even said, like, look, Neil, your party can have all the glory. And there was nothing back. So, guys, you need to realise now, right, that this is a political bandwagon. You will see I put out loads of videos flipping my lid on political parties many times over this. This has been being made for the last 3 years, guys. You know, it's gone through 4 stages of voting and it was their job to scrutinise it. It wasn't our job. It was their job to scrutinise it. And what we got to remember is they failed in their job. They failed in their role. It was never our place to step up and do this. We are just ordinary people that have come together because we know we need to. You know, even after supplying the evidence to all 60 ministers of that Senedd, nobody looked into it, guys. Nobody looked into it. But that's, I wanted to do I'm going to be doing political videos. I don't want to really be doing them off Public Child Protection Wales because obviously I'm going to test strips off these ministers. Because last July, I made it it was my responsibility last July to see how these ministers perform. And I've got every single screenshot. I've got every single email. I've got absolutely everything, guys, to show you where these ministers failed, what they've said behind people's backs, what they've said about the campaign. Some of them think it is an effing joke. So yeah, so I want to be doing, and that was a quote, by the way, that wasn't me swearing politely, that was an actual quote from a senior member of a party. That was his words, but he actually used the full word, you know. So, but I want to do those off my own YouTube channel because obviously I don't want to muddy the water. I have to try and be quite professional on this platform. On my other platform, I'm going to let rip because they threw our kids under the bus and they haven't come and pulled them back from it. You know, they threw our kids under the bus and we've got to throw them back under it. It's as simple as that. This is unforgivable. And all they had to do was read the documents. All they had to do was stand up and say something. You'll also hear Neil McAvoy saying he wasn't allowed in plenary for the last debate. Well, where was he for all the ones before that? Why didn't he do his job in the petitions committee? You know, so when I do these videos now on the politics, I want to show you the emails. There was some I sent videos to as well, which the police should have been banging my door and they failed to protect in that sense as well. So, like I said, last July, I made it my responsibility to check these guys out, right? The ball was in their court. You know, if this curriculum bill was going through, my next plan from that was the election, guys. And I cannot stand here and forgive those people for letting our children down. I'm not going to do it. Even if somebody good joins their group, I cannot turn a blind eye to them because it doesn't matter how many times a snake sheds its skin, it's always going to be a snake. And they're going to tell you whatever you want to hear on the run up to an election. But what we need to be focusing on now is their behavior since we first approached them last July. Okay, that's the performance we need to be looking at now. Okay, maybe they'd never heard of this global sex education before, and maybe that's why they overlooked it in 3 years making this curriculum, right? So we'll give them that. But from the point we informed them, there's no excuse. There has been no excuse. So as far as I'm concerned, there are 54 ministers of that Senate that do not deserve to be there, all right? 54 guys. And the ball is in our court now, isn't it? So I don't want to drone on for ages, guys. There are loads of comments there. That's why I was hoping to have somebody on with me. You all know I'm a technophobe. I'm no good at handling this stuff, guys. Well, you've seen what happened at the beginning. I'm going to have to edit all that out tonight. So, yeah, I just want to leave it there now, guys. But like I said, my political videos are going to be off my profile because that is going to be my personal attack on them based on my experience of them, okay? And I am. People say they work for the underdog. No, guys, I am the underdog. I am the kid off the streets, right? And I am not going to lie to you about anything. I'm going to be completely transparent like I've always been from day one. And children are the only agenda here. And the people that failed to rise to that occasion need to go, right? They're on 70 grand a year. They don't pay for a meal. You know, they got expenses. They get everything covered. And they failed to investigate this. When we give the evidence to them, guys, it is no excuse for that, right? And that is completely unacceptable. And if we turn a blind eye to that, then we are no different to the generations before us, the failed kids. We have to be the change that we want to see. It has to start with us. Political parties have to go. What we need to do is we need to zone in on these people. Okay, people in these positions now, the ones that are standing up their parties, they are no good. They're being party whipped. This is how we're where we are now. They only work for you when they want you to vote. Once you voted them in, their loyalty lies with the party. So what we need is, and for people to say, oh, a load of independents can't form a government. No, maybe so. But a load of independents can surely rock a government. You know, if one small group of women, Public Child Protection Wales, can build all this, we are strangers to each other. If we can build all this in this short space of time, then can you imagine what we could do if we had 20 people like that in there? 20 individuals? That is a third of the entire Welsh government. A third. That's a good number, guys, you know, so we need to think tactfully here now. We got to get them out. That gravy has been far too delicious for far too long, right? So we've got to turn them back to granules and put on a bit of hot water. Right, guys, we need to be that hot water. They have taken the mickey out of us long enough. This betrayal, right, and this deceit, this ignorance, the arrogance of it all, right, this is unforgivable. And I am not going to stop for anyone. I'm not going to stop until it is gone, until there's no training in ours. We're not going anywhere. We are not going anywhere at all. We're having all new training there. We want a new government. This is not acceptable, guys. Public Child Protection Wales has some big plans. And those big plans are to put Wales on the map. And you know what? We don't want your votes. We're not after a big wage. We are doing it because we care and it needs to be done. All right? We've got to respond to this need, guys, and this need is quite urgent, and we can only do it together. Right, I'm actually going to go now. Thank you so much, guys, for your support. I just can't possibly get through these comments. There are loads here. Christ. Yeah, there are loads here, but thank you very much for your patience when I couldn't get the sound on earlier. I really appreciate it, guys. I need to end this now, right? But I don't know what I'm doing. So I might be here for a couple of minutes there, another screen now. Just forgive me. Just pretend I'm not there, right, guys? Thank you very much for watching and see you again soon. That was our first ever live on YouTube.